Unai Emery claimed last week that it was necessary for England's wealthiest clubs to play in Europe's top competition, but only one of these sides needs to be in the Champions League next term, and it isn't Chelsea. Sure, the Blues crave the prestige and glory of playing among Europe's elite, but they generate enough revenue off the pitch not to depend on it, at least not yet. It is another matter for wobbling Aston Villa, whose immediate future could depend on whether they finish in the top 5 this term. Always walking a tightrope with UEFA and Premier League spending rules, Villa are likely to sell key players to balance the books if they miss out on Champions League football again. Joao Pedro's hat-trick carried Liam Rossinier's team to a win over a Villa side who were shambolic at times, despite taking an early lead through Douglas Luiz. Cole Palmer was also on target for Chelsea. This place used to be a fortress for Emery's men, but instead they have been beaten 4 times here in 2026 alone. With 15 minutes remaining, swaths of empty seats were visible across Villa Park as Chelsea fans chanted gleefully about fire drills. Just when Chelsea are starting to build up a head of steam, Villa's season is threatening to go up in smoke. Both teams return to Europe next week, as Chelsea meet Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League and Villa take on Lille in the Europa League. Emery has won that competition 4 times as a coach and may need to do so a 5th time if Villa are to return to Europe's top table. Rosinier made a big call by dropping Robert Sanchez for Philip Jorgensen in goal, while Emery stuck with Ollie Watkins ahead of Tammy Abraham up front for Villa. The atmosphere at Villa Park has been a little flat for some time now, but this time, the home side finally made a positive start. Luiz's intended pass for Ollie Watkins was cut out, but Luiz found Leon Bailey when the ball rebounded to him. Bailey beat Joao Pedro and crossed. Watkins dummied, and Luiz, who had continued his run, finished smartly from close range. Despite that opening strike, Villa fans and players were nervy. Alejandro Garnacho would give Matty Cash problems throughout the first half, and from his cross, Pedro's header drew an impressive save from Emi Martinez. Then Reece James was lucky to avoid a booking for a blatant dive inside the box. Both sides were making regular errors in possession, and it led to an open game. As Tyrone Mings stumbled, Palmer headed for goal and instead of shooting, teed up Garnacho. Ezri Konsa was there to make a decisive block. At the other end, Wesley Fofana missed a routine header from Martinez's clearance and it let Watkins through, only for the England striker to shoot weakly at Jorgensen. Jorgensen had a poor game when Villa won 2-1 here last season, but he looked up for it before the break. He made saves from Watkins and Morgan Rogers, and they proved important as Chelsea equalised soon afterwards. Enzo Fernandez found Malo Gusto on the right, and with Villa appealing for offside, Pedro slid in at the far post to convert the cross. Konsa had played Gusto onside. Villa thought they had moved back in front when Watkins fired in Rogers' pass, only to be judged offside by the width of a kneecap. The home crowd howled with anger at referee Jard Gillett in the Premier League, and in stoppage time it became even worse. Pedro converted Fernandez's delightful pass with a similarly accomplished finish, with this time Amadou Onana playing the Brazilian onside, by a toe. You can imagine the Holt End's reaction when that one appeared on the big screen. Chelsea made what looked the decisive move 10 minutes into the second half, and this time it was Palmer who made his mark. The England man collected Pedro's pass and released James. Bizarrely, Martinez chose to palm away the cross rather than catch it, and Palmer drilled in the loose ball from 15 yards. And with Villa increasingly frantic, Pedro completed his hat-trick when Villa's offside trap was sprung by Palmer and Garnacho squared for Pedro to tap home.